What difference does your faith make to you? What difference does it make in your life? Is it something optional, like deciding whether to belong to a club? Or is it more essential to your life? These are questions many of us never really ask ourselves. If you are watching or listening to this devotional, though, odds are pretty good that your faith is a vital part of your life. But I'm betting that even you don't often ask this basic question. Hello, I'm Stuart Baskin, pastor of First Presbyterian Church of Tyler, Texas. And this is your daily devotional for Tuesday, May 13th, 2025. We Reformed Christians have a few quirks. Well, maybe more than a few, but ask most Christians why it is important to be Christian, and their top answer will probably have something to do with their personal salvation. They believe because they want to be saved. And surely this is not unimportant. But for us Reformed Christians, there is something even more important, and it has nothing whatsoever to do with what difference the faith actually makes in our lives, at least not directly. And that thing is the glorification of God. Lifelong Presbyterians, at least those older than a certain age, will remember the first question and answer of the Westminster Shorter Catechism. The question, what is the chief end of man? And the answer, man's chief end is to glorify God and to enjoy Him forever. Old-time ministers may remember a question that was once often asked of candidates for ordination in different presbyteries. The question is, would you be willing to be damned to hell for the glory of God? Sounds kind of shocking, doesn't it? But if you stop and think about it, it is exactly the right question. What is more important, even than my own salvation? The glory of God. Now, that's not something that will attract many people to the faith. Christian faith really begins with our own wants and needs in a very real sense. Let me be careful how I say that. I do not mean that the most important thing in the Christian faith is the satisfaction of our wants and needs, only that for most of us, our own faith begins there. But hopefully our faith grows from there into something more mature. One of the things that I've found to be true over the years is that we all live out our faith in different ways. Sure, there are recognizable patterns to our stories, but each of our stories is ours alone. So I think it is safe to say we all have different answers to the question, what difference does the faith make in our lives? It's probably important for each one of us to reflect on that question and try to articulate an answer. Why? Well, because at some point a friend or colleague is likely to confide in you concerning a personal struggle. They're likely to ask you how you have handled a similar struggle in your own life. Now, not every personal struggle involves the faith. Sometimes it's medical. Sometimes it's broken relationships. But it's always something that you have thoughts about. So it might be an important time to talk very personally about your own faith journey. That's how we help each other, after all. From a certain perspective, life is a constant journey through the unknown. And when we get to places in our lives that we don't know the way forward, we ask trusted souls in our lives for guidance. And in turn, when others find themselves in the same situation, our experiences may just be the thing to help them. And here's the deal. While a lot of these things may not appear at first to be faith questions, it really turns out that our faith is one of the things that sustains us in difficult or confusing times. It is exactly at times like this that we need to be able to articulate our faith and how it has sustained us in our darkest times. Then we can be a big help to friends who need some support in walking through the difficult times of life. One of the people who did this for me early on in my life was my mother. She was not a Bible thumper, nor was she what I would call a loud Christian. She didn't talk about her faith all the time, but her faith ran deep. You know the old adage, still waters run deep. From time to time, when she saw me running into life difficulties, she would just quietly tell me a story from her own experience, including how her faith sustained her through her most difficult days. Honestly, I don't remember many specifics, But what I remember was that faith was always a vital part of her life, even if she didn't beat you over the head with it. And as much as anything, that's what has shaped my own faith. Unless I miss my guess, someone you know shared a bit of their faith story with you along the way, and you, in turn, have spoken to someone else about your faith when that person needed a little help and support. So let me know your story. What difference has the faith made in your life? How has someone else's faith journey helped you along the way? And do you remember a time when your story helped someone else? Let me know. Now may God continue to bless you and keep you in all that you do this day and in all the days ahead.